and I am in Education 380 Section 2, and this is my field observation presentation. Please bear with me, this is causing some issues. Okay, so all about the kids. I observed 6 children overall in 3 different families for this assignment. In the 3 sets of siblings that I had Gunnar and Grady, and they are 10 and 5, and they're boys. I had Harrison and Owen, who are 10 and 6, and more boys, and Drake and Hudson, 9 and 6, still boys. Now, Gunnar and Grady and Drake and Hudson both have younger siblings, but I did not observe them for this assignment as they did not meet the age requirement. So as I was babysitting, all of the observations that I did were at the respective family's house. In a few cases, we went to the backyard, but we mainly stayed inside. And after working with all boys, all in the school age range of 5 to 12, I picked up a few tips and tricks. But as we know, a 5-year-old will act much different than a 10-year-old. So I kind of separated them into 2 little sections. So for the older kids, I liked to go in and immediately give them mutual respect. If I gave them respect, I expected it back. I did not treat them as though I was so much better and bigger in authority to them. I was like, hey, it's me and you against these younger kids. Like, they're nuts. And so with the mutual respect, I also gave them responsibilities. I would say, you know, you're in charge of letting me know when the pasta's done or when your brother wakes up or things like that. Nothing that they didn't want to do. If they were like, no, then obviously I didn't make them do it. But I tried to give them as much responsibility as they could handle. And with that, I also gave them choices. So I let them decide for themselves. Do you want to take a shower first or do you want to eat dinner first? Do you want to play outside or play inside? Do you want to watch a movie or play a board game? I didn't try to go in there and dictate what they would do. And with the younger kids, though, it was pretty different. I needed to give them clear directions. I did not want to have any confusion of what I expected from them. But in giving them directions, I also explained why I was having them do what I was having them do. If I was saying, hey, we need to go inside, I wasn't just saying, hey, we need to go inside because I don't want to play anymore. It was, we need to go inside because we have 15 minutes to get you ready for bed. And I would give them a head warning, too, of things that we needed to do and accomplish. And along with the older kids, I gave the younger kids choices as well. So some of the main points, the significant events. So one of the things that happened is Grady, who is a little 5-year-old, he wanted to play soccer outside. And so we all went outside, and it was a modified form of soccer, basically where they just practiced kicking goals. And Grady missed the goal every time. I mean, he kicked the ball to the left probably 30 times in a row. Before I said, hey, Grady, what if you, instead of starting with the ball in the middle, you started with the ball to the right of the goal? So that way, even if you kick it left, you'll make the goal. And he tried it and tested it out, and it worked. And when I went inside to check on his younger siblings, I came back out and he was still doing it. And so I think that's applicable later in life too, that it doesn't need to be a very complicated change to find a solution. He just needs to change his perspective. Owen was a little 6-year-old, and he's in kindergarten. And before he went to bed, I said, hey, pick 2 books. And so he picked some Curious George books. And I don't know if you guys know those, but those are not kindergarten reading level. They are way above. And so he said, I'm going to read one and you read one. And so I was like, okay. And I realized as he was reading the first 5 pages that he wasn't actually reading. He just had memorized the book. He had read it so many times, which this is actually in his developmental range. So it was really cool to put a connection of he should be reading and memorizing picture books and pretending to read them back. And I got to witness that. And lastly, Drake and his confidence. This guy, he's 9, and we went outside to play lacrosse. And I hear him mumble under his breath, oh, that was really good. And so I said, oh, thanks, man. Like, I hardly get compliments from you. And he goes, no, I was talking about myself. That was a really good catch. And I was like, you know what, buddy? Instead of like reprimanding him and telling him, to be humble, I was like, never lose that faith in yourself and always carry that confidence with you because it'll help you later in life. But I just thought that was very funny of how he wants to be a plastic surgeon. And so his high academic achievement correlates greatly with his high self-esteem. And lastly, how this will affect me in the future and understanding their development. So this will absolutely affect the way that I treat future kids, especially in my work. So cognitive development, I understood that the older boys, Gunner and Harrison, as they're 10, they could handle more responsibility, and I was able to give them those responsibilities. Whereas socially, I understood when I needed to step back and let the boys figure it out themselves, and when I needed to step in by understanding the zone of proximal development. So that is my presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next class.